What is up? Welcome to the Week 17 edition of Matchup Points here at fantasypoints.com. I'm John Hansen, Brett Whitefield, Adam Caplan, standing by. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, Happy Festivus. Our guy, Tommy T-Bone on the other side of the glass, keeping us on the air here. And we are up against, Thursday Night Football, which kicks off the most important weekend in the history of fantasy football. I know everyone's ready, so we'll get right into it. Go right to the Jets, Browns, and Adam, we'll go to you per usual. Injury wise here, pretty light here. No Jeremy Ruckert. We do like Tyler Conklin. Otherwise, looks like we're okay. And then for obviously no Zach Wilson, and then we do have a couple of injuries here pregame that might be worth noting here, Adam. Like, Juan Thornhill for one. What else you see?
He's got this limb calf injury, but the big one is Amari Cooper. That's by far one of the biggest injuries of the week. He's got the heel injury, the dreaded heel injury. This is the new receiver injury. And almost all of these guys have missed time, and it's a short week. Now, he didn't do anything in their walkthroughs. He didn't run at all. He didn't do anything. They just got him off his feet. He's going to try and pregame. In fact, he was supposed to try over the last hour. The inactives will be out in 5 minutes. I'd be slightly surprised if he played. And
really,
yeah, heel injuries. Hollywood Brown's had this for 5 weeks. He's missed the last 3 weeks. Remember, last time Hollywood Brown played, he took himself out. He hasn't played since then. There's another injury. I'm not real optimistic because it's a short week. Had this been on Sunday, I'd feel better about it because then we'd know if he could run or not. But no, I would also pay attention if he's active to any pregame reports from what's the game on Amazon. If they have anyone who did any reporting about how he looked in pregame, I've learned a lot from these pregame reports about on the sideline reporters who are there. You know, if you're in the championship, you need to know that. So, obviously, if he's inactive, you don't have to worry about it.
Well, maybe we can, get. Well, we might not be able to get it by the time we sign off, but
we'll know in 5 minutes whether he's active or not. I'm just saying for people who are, before the game, before you turn, we'll be off the air before the game starts. Just check it. I'll give the Browns credit though. One thing before we move on is their offensive line has been banged up for weeks. This Garon Christian has done a great job. Former draftee of I was talking to someone from another team who said he's shocked at how well he's played. No, I'm not saying he's a good player, but he's overachieved. He was a guy that was discarded from Washington and Miami, and he's their third string left tackle. He's done a good job. And about Flacco's the way that he's playing right now. I mean, I don't know the quarterback, quite frankly, is doing what he's able to do every single throw that he's making.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Brett, it is a positive schematic matchup for Flacco, but a tough individual matchup in a revenge game. If he doesn't have Amari Cooper, I think that's pretty disruptive. We have a very low total on here. I mean, based on everything about, this Browns offense, where they are and the matchup here, I mean, what are the chances that we have a very underwhelming performance by Flacco?
I think they're relatively high, to be honest, John. There's always a matchup a week that just makes you kind of gag. And this is the one for sure. This could be a really, really low scoring game. I mean, it just has 13-7 written all over it. I know Flacco's been balling out. He's also turned the ball over a lot. I would say the one good thing about this game for the Browns, or even on the Jets side, is the pace of play should be relatively high. For whatever reason, since Flacco's taken over at quarterback, the Browns have been pushing the pace on offense. They're getting themselves into some shootouts. Now, I don't know that a shootout's going to happen with these two defenses per se, but I do think maybe you're going to get 60-plus plays of offense from both teams, and that could be beneficial for guys like Breece Hall, who might need to be the beneficiary of some checkdowns, things of that nature. But overall, I just think this game's going to be kind of gross.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I do like the Tyler Conklin call. He's very active, certainly. Tough matchup for Garrett Wilson. He's going to see Brett it's going to be either Emerson or Ward, and they're both good.
Yep.
Right. So, what do you think of Conklin tonight? Another 4 or 5 grabs, I think.
Yeah, I like Conklin, and we've talked about it before. Cleveland is they do give up points to the tight end. Sometimes that's the way to beat them in the pass game, and Conklin's been pretty consistent this year, actually. So
very consistent.
Good about that.
It's a shame, John. He's not played with good quarterbacks. It's really. I'm telling you, this guy was the top 10 tight end this season and last. If he played with a competent quarterback.
Agreed.
Totally agree.
So it's a shame because, as I had that nugget for you last year, that their analytical numbers were so significantly good for him from tape study that he'd be great run after the catch of this West Coast offense. They were convinced he was going to be a stud, and he hasn't been bad. He's gotten all that he can out of the quarterback play, but it cuts him down a little bit, unfortunately.
Oh, I mean, I'm like 11-1 on props for Tyler Conklin this year. So I'm in on both the yardage and the catch prop. I actually like Jerome Ford's receiving prop, by the way, which this Amari Cooper situation could help. And then, that's it. I don't really expect much from Breece Hall. His catch prop is so weird. It's over 3.5. Now, the odds are terrible, but I mean, the dude caught 12 balls last week. So, I think he's probably going to have a so-so game, Brett. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, for sure. And I'll come full circle with Conklin too, because I just found a great nugget on him. But with Breece, so what's crazy is the Jets quarterbacks this season have one of the fastest time to throws in the NFL, yet they still give up a pressure rate that's in the top 10. That offensive line just been terrible. What that has meant, though, the last few games is Breece is just going to catch every single check down, every dump off. It's like it's free fantasy points. It doesn't look pretty. If you're watching the game, you don't come away feeling like Breece Hall played well. But hey, man, it's worth a lot of fantasy points, so I'll take it. Conklin, I just found this nugget really quick, John. Sorry.
Yeah.
So the Browns are giving up the most fantasy points, adjusted fantasy points per game to tight ends who play out wide or in the slot. Well, 51 of Conklin's targets have come out wider in the slot, so that's where he spends most of his time.
Yep.
I think this is a really, really good matchup for him.
Yeah, good schematic matchup too. But like I said, I don't really give a rat's ass what happens. It's one of those I'm sleeping like a baby, just like Rashid Shaheed last week.
Right.
I'm like sleeping like a baby. It's the right call to make. Anything else from you, Mr. C?
No, that's it. I mean, the big one is Cooper. I'm in full agreement. I think I had to turn this game in. I'm in like this sort of contest, so we pick all the games, and I picked it. What did I get? 16-7. I think I had the Browns winning.
Wow.
It's an ugly game, and it's not a weather game. It's just ugly.
Yeah, that was my prediction tonight, this morning about tonight. We got one touchdown to work with for the Jets, probably one.
Defense.
Well, hopefully not.
Flacco probably turned it. I mean, he John, you know him. He doesn't care if he turns it over. He just comes back and keeps dealing.
Yeah, I'm going 40% Breece, 40% Wilson, and then 20% Conklin. Basically, Lions at Cowboys. Well, Brett. Actually, Adam, to you. How about no Rico Dowdle? So we'll see some little Deuce Vaughn. No Jonathan Hankins. Good news for the Lions.
Yep, their run defense is not. But we've been talking about that for weeks. Their run defense isn't very good. So yeah, Hankins is out. Tyron Smith got a little bit of a work in today. He's got this. He's had a bad back for a long time. Dowdle, this is the lingering ankle injury. It's been a problem for him for several weeks. It finally gave out. And the diminutive Deuce Vaughn, who I saw in training camp, he is small. His dad's part of their personnel staff, by the way. He will be the backup. Yes, I'll be interested to see if they give him any work in this game.
I'm drinking my new Dodgers mug that was my secret Santa in the family. My oldest son Christian got me. It's like 48 ounces. I mean, look at the size of my head. This thing.
That's sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got its own tides. It's such a large body of water or liquid. But anyways, Brett, this is a sketchy schematic matchup here per our data and for Jared Goff, and then also the pressure situation. Then again, we've got a lot of, how he's not good under pressure. I mean, we have all the data is bad, but then we have a high total, and we have a game indoors where Goff is good. So the rubbers, what gives here?
So for Goff specifically, it's a certain type of pressure that he struggles with. It's basically unblocked defenders. So teams with like really exotic looks, that's usually what's giving Goff trouble.
Okay.
Dallas isn't really one of those teams. They're pretty straight up. They do blitz at a decent rate, but it's not like these aren't really exotic looks that they're giving you. I know the last couple of weeks they've used Micah off the ball a little bit more to blitz the quarterback. That could give Goff some trouble. I'm not saying it's going to be a super clean game from Goff, but I do think the way this O-line is playing right now, and when these 5 are together, they've been unstoppable. They lead when the Lions have their starting 5 offensive linemen, they lead the NFL in EPA per play and pretty much every efficiency metric you can imagine. So like yards per play, EPA per play, it's pretty remarkable. So I don't know that this is the type of pressure that's going to make Goff completely crumble. Furthermore, John, like Dallas can't stop the run, and that's really been the key for Goff. Is like when they can get that run game going, Goff is a lot less pressure because he's in third and manageable, third and short.
Yeah.
He's not having to hold the ball for 3 seconds, and that's really when he's found himself in trouble. So I think that's all going to bode well. Dallas is in the last 7-8 games, they're giving up over 2 yards, adjusted yards before contact per carry, which is like disgusting.
Bad. Wow.
Really bad.
Yeah. 7th most adjusted yards before contact on the season.
Yeah.
So no doubt it's going to be all about Gibbs and Montgomery. It is a very the Cowboys are tough against tight ends generally, but it is a very good schematic matchup for Laporta. And I kind of like Jameson Williams to get another 50. Like I feel like he's doing some good things without the ball in his hands.
Yep.
He's
getting the trust of the coaches. Next year's his year, though. Next year's the year.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And then for Dallas, I feel pretty good. I mean, I think Dak won't have much pressure. That's the big question, right? Can they get somebody else other than Hutchinson to get pressure here? And it looks like the Lions D. I mean, where are they at right now? Because it looks like they'll have their hands full with CD.
Cam Sutton, the best corner, was added to the injury report today. So keep an eye on that. Jerry Jacobs, I was told, was going to start. He got a 1 week. I don't know. You could call it demotion, whatever you want. It sounds like he's got a chance to play more anyway this week. But man, if Cam Sutton can't play, John, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. What do you think, Brett?
Yeah, so I mean, Detroit's coverage as a unit has tightened up quite a bit the last few weeks. I know that sounds crazy considering Mullins went for 415 on him or whatever.
Yeah.
Like 120 of those yards were contested catches of Jefferson down the field.
Yeah, they were fiery last week.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing, though. CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup and Jalen Tolbert, they're all really good at contested catch situations. So I do expect Dallas to try to play some bully ball on those Lions corners. I think Dak should have no problem moving the ball. The implied point total is high for a reason. I do think that this could be a high scoring game, similar to what we saw last week from Detroit and Minnesota.
Yeah, no doubt. Moving on, Miami at Baltimore. Injuries will go to you first, though, Adam. It looks like no Waddle.
They're hoping it's not a 2-week injury, so it's not a shin. It's actually his ankle, but it wasn't too far from a shin. So this is bad. Achane they expect to play, but he's had this lingering toe problem that might explain why he's not looked as good as he did earlier this season. And by the way, this is his 5th injury that he's had. Look at my chart here. That's not good. So this was a concern, by the way, with him coming out from Texas A&M.
Obviously.
Injury history, but he's so explosive. Mostert they expect to go. This is their plan each week. He usually rests 1 or 2 days. He's had these lingering knee and ankle problems. Rob Hunt probably won't play, one of their starting guards, but he just started working this week. And then the big one for Baltimore, Zay Flowers calf injury, not good.
Yeah,
we'll see tomorrow, but that concerns me.
Well, Brett, matchup wise here, negative schematic matchup across the board actually for the Ravens, for Lamar, all the receivers. It is a good one for likely. Maybe that's a limited data situation there. Although Miami has been sketchy against tight ends, and simply put, I think it's a likely game. But what do you think about the Ravens offensively in this matchup? Those Miami corners the 3 of them are really good.
Yeah, I think we have Ravens with the worst pass grade of the week in our matchup tool, so that's not great. The Dolphins have also been surprisingly stingy against the run ever since week 6 it was.
Yeah,
turn that around, and then the pressure rate, like Jalen Phillips went on IR back week 11, 12, and since then they lead the NFL in pressure rate, which is
Van Ginkel all day. Van Ginkel for president.
They are up a little more too. They've decided they've committed a little more guys to the blitz.
Chubb has been great.
Chubb's been great. But it is kind of crazy how that works. You lose your best pass rusher, and then you get better rushing the passer. Sometimes coordinators are overthinking it, I guess, because they're scheming it up is working. And I think that's just a problem for Lamar. The other thing Miami does really well on defense is a lot of these gap exchange type rushes. They're disguising it up. Lamar has traditionally struggled with that approach. If you remember the playoff game against the Chargers a few years back, where Lamar really struggled, Miami did a lot of the same things with their front that the Chargers did in that game. So this could be tricky.
Oh, right. Didn't they just go like dime?
They went straight dime, and they were just like, you had no idea who was coming, what the pass rush lanes were, what the run keys were. It was tough. They couldn't.
All right. Hey, Cooper, by the way, is inactive. Mark Cooper's inactive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I felt bad. Man, these damn heel injuries, man. These receivers. It's been the new one this year. It's cost like 4 or 5 of them games. So
well, I mean that Cedric Tillman.
Yep.
Cedric Tillman time. I mean, he's playing well. I don't know, Brett. Have you noticed Cedric Tillman? A great kid, by the way. Love that kid.
Yeah, it's Tillman looks good. He looks about to be the guy he was on tape in college. He's big, he's physical, he's a little faster than you think he is for a guy that size. We just haven't really seen him with those contested catch downfield opportunities he got in college, or at least a lot of them. But this might be his moment. I don't know that it's a great spot for him, but
I would drop the over-under from 34 to 30 with this injury.
and my over-under was 20, so I'd go
Was it? Oh,
17,
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm burying Flacco here.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not, it is what it is. Like,
well, does Elijah Moore get a bump up? Revenge.
I mean, he gets at the very least another half a catch. I mean, I mean, probably, yeah. I say, 3.5 is where I'm going to go to. Let me do a quick calculation here. But while I'm doing that, Adam, why don't we multitask here and move on to New England at Buffalo, and what are the injury situations for that game?
Yeah, so Stevenson was put on IR. Kevin Harris remains as the 2. Ezekiel Elliott didn't practice today because of an illness. I wouldn't worry about that. Buffalo, Josh Allen's off the injury report. He's had, some people think is an AC joint sprain. Anyway, he's off the injury report, so that's good. The question is, Brett would probably have a better idea than both of us. What has happened with Stephon Diggs? Because his number regression, it started before Joe Brady became the OC. So do we have any idea what's the issue is here?
So it's weird, Adam, because at the end of last year when I was watching, we were doing a deep dive on the receivers because we have a separation statistic coming out this summer.
Okay.
I noticed like around week 13, week 14, Stephon Diggs just fell off a cliff. Like, it was really weird. And I know the fantasy production was still decent. He was getting volume, but it looked like he just hit a brick wall, like physically.
Wow.
I kind of see the same thing now. He just doesn't look like he's as explosive as he was, not getting in and out of his breaks as smoothly. And that since I know it happened before Joe Brady, but since Joe Brady's taken over, he's been really hammering Josh home on playing within structure and getting the ball out quickly. That's why James Cook has gotten so involved in the pass game.
Yeah.
And I think it's just not working with Diggs right now. So much of what he did with Josh was scramble drill. So
well, he is 30 and he's taking a beating.
Yes, he has.
And if you've ever stood next to him, which I have, he is not a big man at all. I mean,
he's a small 6 feet. He's got a small frame, and he up to a couple years ago he had a pretty decent injury history.
Yeah.
So that plays to your point. Yeah, he's been in the league since 2015 as a 5th rounder, and he's a smaller frame guy, and he just turned 30 in November. So you worry about this kind of stuff when you worry about the legs. The first thing to go at receiver are the legs.
Totally. 100%. And I think we're there. I think Stephon Diggs should be like a 7th round pick next year.
Could be.
And I really do. I know that may seem like a bold statement here, but Allen will find a way. But I mean, this Patriot D, Brett, is playing really well. I think they need to get maybe James Cook involved in the passing game. I will say, doing a lot of prop research and looking at all the data, one prop I love is Khalil Shakir. It's like over 23 yards. It feels like he's like their man beater, Brett.
Yeah. And that's why you drafted Khalil Shakir, to be a man beater, because he's super fast and he's exceptional at the catch point, like really, really good. So even if the coverage is tight, he can still win that way. So I like that prop. Yeah, New England's defense is just once again they're just so stingy. They've gotten better as the team has somehow gotten worse.
Yeah.
Man, this run defense is insane. So I don't think it's a James Cook night unless he's going to get it done in the pass game. I don't know, really tough across the board. I do like the Shakir prop though quite a bit.
Yeah. And then Adam, no Ramondre. I see Zeke is illing a little bit here.
Yep. That's it. Really
it is, Brett, back to you, a positive schematic matchup. Do you have anything positive to say about Bailey Zappi, who may get Hunter Henry back? It's not a lost cause yet.
Yeah,
that would be nice. Buffalo's back to struggling with their pressure package, so Bailey should have some time. The real issue with him is he just can't push the ball downfield at all. So
yeah,
and a team as disciplined as Buffalo in the secondary, they're just gonna they're gonna eat you alive up line scrimmage.
And John, that's why Zappi was not claimed off waivers. He just cannot. He's a push passer. Teams don't want that. Like Mac Jones had really great accuracy. Yeah. So that if you can't throw the ball, if you cannot drive the football downfield, you got to be incredibly accurate. Zappi's not that guy. He was a streaky player. He put up massive numbers in college. We saw Senior Bowl. He did some good things, but the league has spoken. He's a very limited player, very limited. And you're seeing that.
Oh, totally. I know. I didn't start him in a 2-week Superflex Dynasty Championship for big money, and I regretted not playing him. He did well last week. I didn't expect it. So he'll probably crap the bed this week, though. I just feel it in my bones.
He's Mr. First half. You see what he did against Pittsburgh. You saw what he did last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. Don't like Gabe Davis. Nope. No Gabe Davis this week.
Yep.
Atlanta at Chicago. And Adam, I am officially worried about, will Justin Fields have anyone to throw a football to?
Yeah, so Mooney's got a concussion, not looking good for him. The big one's Komet, who had over 100 yards in the first half last week. He's been one of the best values in fantasy. I got him in the 12th round in the ACI. You saw what happened. He came back shortly after the knee injury, and then he was good. He was done for the whole game, the rest of the game. He didn't play in the second half. Mm-hmm. He hasn't done anything yet. Obviously, you would be worried about that. Atlanta, their offensive line's banged up, but they're expecting everyone. They're expecting Heineke to play through the ankle injury. But yeah, doesn't look good for Mooney and Komet. He's going to need to work. So if he's limited tomorrow, I would expect him to play. But that's where it is.
Brett, matchup wise here, we do like London schematically. I have found that London is very predictable per our database. Like if it looks good, go with it. Like the last time I had him as a prop, he went well over 100. If it looks bad, like last week, this one actually looks good. I know it's a challenging matchup, but any thoughts on what stands out to you in this matchup? Maybe those tight ends who are also looking pretty good. And don't look now, if Kyle Pitts can string together like 2 more good games, he might actually finish as the top 12 tight end.
Funny, right? Yeah, I like Drake a lot in this game. Tyreek Stevenson's kind of been weak all season long. Chicago can't really make up their mind with how they want to play, in the coverage. Sometimes it's man, sometimes it's zone. They're definitely trying some things back there, but I like Drake in this matchup. I think he's going to see a lot of Tyreek Stevenson, and that favors him quite a bit. We also have Tyler Heineke with the second highest schematic matchup schematic grade of the week among quarterbacks starting. So third highest. So I do like that matchup for him as well.
Yeah.
I like that Joe Dolan called him hospital ball Heineke in his article.
Oh yeah,
that made me laugh. So.
That's a me invention right there.
Oh no,
yeah. He throws a lot of those, man.
Oh man,
that's a guru jam right there.
I call him HB Heineke is actually what I've called him.
Yeah, but that was taken from hospital ball Heineke.
Yeah, I know. Just like HP Pennypacker from Seinfeld.
Yes. No, I know. HB sounds a lot more sophisticated.
I know. I love that.
Hi, I'm famous businessman and entrepreneur.
Exactly. You got it.
Well, and then Bijan. Well, we were pretty high on Bijan. He did get it done last week. And then Adam, do you have any thoughts on the Bears backfield? Deontay Foreman, let's say, is active. You think he's back to being the one?
Well, the problem is Juice Herbert showed himself last week. I mean, he performed.
Yeah.
I know the Cardinals' run defense is the worst in the National Football League, but he did a really good job. So that's a tough call because we knew that once Foreman showed what they were looking for, he was going to be the guy the rest of the season. And then he's had 2 separate ankle injuries. Then he had a personal issue last week. So it's a great question. I don't know. That one. I don't know what they'll do.
All right. Well, let's go
Herbert
to
looked great. If Herbert didn't look good, different story. Then it's clearly Foreman.
Yeah. Let's go to Tennessee at Houston.
There's a lot of injuries here. A lot of them.
Yeah. Tell me about. Well, it looks like it's all Houston.
Yeah, let's get to the big news. Stroud has been cleared, which is great. So he'll be in the lineup. Now, Houston's D-line is decimated. Will Anderson's got the high ankle. He won't play. Malik Collins with a hip injury. It's a second hip injury. Not looking good for him. Jonathan Grenard, their other DN, probably won't play with his ankle injury. So Sheldon Rankin's other. So there's a possibility their entire starting defensive line will be out. It's a possibility. We'll know more tomorrow.
I mean, this does help Derrick Henry for sure.
Yep. Sure, and it helps Will Levis, who Will Levis is trending towards playing. Oh, Steven Nelson, one of their starting corners. He's got 3 injuries he's dealing with. He might not play.
That's big.
So Tennessee might be able to move the ball a little bit. Now, Tennessee's line, they're expecting to have mostly everybody. Their secondary's banged up beyond belief. They're putting guys out there who are like 4th and 5th stringers. So Stroud, and unfortunately, I'm playing Paul in one of our championship games, and I'm Paul Kelly, and I'm not looking forward to it because he's got Stroud. I know I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I've got Noah Brown, and I don't know what to do. Quarterback change. It's not the best schematic matchup. I think individually it might be against often Trey Avery. I do like Dalton Schultz in this game. I also really like Chiggy. And it is, Brett, a very positive schematic matchup for D-Hop. I guess that's zone, right? They play a lot of zone. I just don't know if you can trust D-Hop. I mean, anything stand out to you in this game?
Oh man, this is another messy one. Houston's D line being out, if that comes to pass, that could be huge because Houston's defense has been just obnoxiously stingy considering the talent they have on that defense. It's like not a ton of talent, but they've been great, especially against the run. So if that D line's out, that's going to open the door for Henry, obviously.
Well, Flacco got him last week, but right. Run defense has shocked me how good it's been. Wow.
Yeah, I think they're like leading the league the last 5 weeks in yards before contact per attempt against them. So 0.42, very stingy. So if those guys aren't playing, that's obviously huge. Tennessee's whole offense rolls off of that play action, that heavy play action stuff. So schematically, though, I don't want to trust D-Hop if I don't have to, but I get a lot of people are going to be in that situation. So, it does look nice, though, against that zone. Steven Nelson, we called it a couple weeks ago, John, against DeAndre Hopkins-type receivers. He struggles.
Well, he's no further than Mark Cooper last week.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Good route runners and guys that are physical at the catch point. He struggles with those guys. So
he's a smaller guy. Right?
We did. Guy. We did talk about that. That is correct. Yep. Yeah, I remember looking back at my write-up. I'm like, geez, I hope I didn't spin him negatively. And it was pure straight up facts. But
he's feisty and tough, but he doesn't run well.
Right.
And he's smaller. He's a smaller frame guy.
Yeah.
He's just his body, like he gets the most out of his body. But anyway, the Eagles were not going to bring him back. He just doesn't run well enough. And he's a guy I'm surprised. Remember before Stingley got hurt, and then after Stingley got hurt, how stingy they were, and we're like, how are they doing this? They were executing well, but man, Flacco got them last week. I mean, who did he get? DeAndre, that Houston Carson guy, number 30.
Well, it was the aforementioned Nelson.
Was it Nelson? Okay, because dude,
not on every play.
Okay, well, you saw the back of the guy's jersey every single play.
Yep. Yeah. No doubt. All right. Well, I think we can move on then. Singletary, he's the guy. So proceed knowing that. Next up here, we've got, what do we have? Scrolling.
Colts.
Raiders at the Colts.
Yep. Pittman is
injury
going to get
report.
cleared tomorrow unless something happens. He
Who?
should get cleared tomorrow. Michael Pittman should get cleared tomorrow unless something happens.
Yeah. What about Jacobs?
I highly doubt it. It's the quad. It's 3 weeks. Boy, last year he was the man playing through minor injuries. This year, not so much when you needed him, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, Brett, I was impressed with Zamir White last week. You know, I said 2 weeks ago the guy's done absolutely nothing, which was true. Well, now 2 weeks later he's done something. What do you think?
Yeah, that 40 time finally came to pass there with some explosive playmaking. So, no, I like him. The Colts have been bad against the run the last probably the last half of the season. They're giving up 2.28 adjusted yards before contact per carry the last 5 weeks. That's a bad number. So, listen, and the Raiders, that's their identity. They want to run the football. So they're
totally.
John, they are hiding. I don't know how much I watched the entire game because I had Myers. Talk about hiding a quarterback.
And Jimmy Garoppolo is fully available to play.
Yeah, how I'd have, but they are hiding O'Connell as much as they can. They will not let him throw. They're not taking 8 because this Antonio Pierce, a defensive guy, he knows his chance to get the interim tag taken off is don't screw the game up, hide the quarterback, don't let him throw. So you're screwed, man. Here, if you've got Myers or Adams, unless they get behind, folks, it's going to be low volume.
I did say all summer. I mean, no offense, not trying to be an a-hole here, but you could just tell Jimmy G was in full DGAF mode. Like, hey, I got paid. I'm good, man. I'm good. Whatever happens, like, whatever. If I take 1 snap, 10 snaps, whatever. I'm in Vegas. You know what I mean? It seems like that's playing out. Anyways, well, and then Raider D, Brett, they're pretty good under Pierce, especially. Like, seem like everyone knows their job and they execute their job and they seem disciplined as hell.
Yeah, we'll find out this week just how disciplined they are because no team runs RPO read option stuff more than the Colts do. So that those second level defenders, they're going to have quite the day ahead of them. Colts have made it work against just about everybody this year. So we'll see just how disciplined they are.
Carolina at Jacksonville. I couldn't believe Bryce Young last week. I'm like, what in the world got into Bryce Young? Injury wise, Adam, looks like maybe no JC Horn.
Yeah, toe injury. Yeah, because the way I understand it, he does not play when he doesn't feel that he's 100%. That would be huge because their defense has played really well. The secondary has really been the story. The big one is, Lawrence was scheduled to practice today. Somebody didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not good. Beathard took all his reps. So that's where that is. We'll know more tomorrow. Zay Jones has an outside chance to play. He's got knee, but the big one is the hamstring.
Yeah. We'll see if Lawrence actually misses a game. At this point, I actually projected beat hard, but I'm sure I'll change it back to Lawrence after he does something tomorrow and then opens up the window that he might play. I mean, they still have a ton to play for here.
Oh, yeah.
We worried about Chuba Hubbard at all? I guess, limited with a hamstring.
Go. Yeah, he should go.
All right.
And this is a big opportunity for him because obviously you've got coaching changes and he's been a nice story this season. Not that they see him as a starter, but Miles Sanders, there's no way he comes back next year based on the way he's performed. He got benched. So it's gone through him. He's done a nice job, John. He's been very decisive. He's gotten all that he can out of his body.
I guess we'll see about Trey Herndon.
The Jaguars nickel?
Yeah.
I think Campbell has a new injury, a finger injury. He should go. No, Trey Herndon is not on the injury report.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's why maybe that's why not the best schematic matchup for Thielen. You nailed that last week, Brett, on Thielen. I played aggressively that over the catch total prop, the winner. But yeah, I don't love it here. Good schematic matchup for Ridley, but we'll see about the quarterback, and everyone's rolling with Evan Ingram. And at the very least, ETN should get carries. Anything stand out to you, matchup wise relating to fantasy here, good or bad?
Yeah, so Bryce Young, 2 weeks in a row now, I thought he's played really well. The one game he didn't have the stats to back that up. This last game, obviously, he did. He's starting heating up. He's only got 1 turnover in the last 4 games, and that was a really big problem for him previous to that. So he's slowly but surely cleaning things up. You're starting to see the accuracy come alive. A couple of those touchdown passes last week were phenomenal. Made a lot of really good throws. The pace of play in this game should be pretty decent. I think we should get, roughly 66 to 70 plays per offense. So there should be opportunities to go around. I know it's not the best schematic matchup, but I think Thielen should be in for a heavy diet with Trey Herndon opposite him most of the game. DJ Chark also. So the Jacksonville Jaguars give up a ton to outside receivers, a ton of fantasy points.
Yeah.
I like Chark. He's going to see Tyson Campbell a good bit of the game, but he'll also see Darius Williams the other bit. So
Campbell, the problem with Campbell is he's had 2 separate injuries, quadriceps and hamstring. He's finally over both. Now has a finger injury, but he's expected to play, so maybe he'll start playing better. I'm not saying they won't go after him. That's what you do because he just has not been right physically for a while. But by the way, the Carolina offensive line's it's banged up a little bit. We'll see if Jacksonville could pressure him.
It is, for what it's worth, a good schematic matchup for Mingo, but I don't know if we're using a Mingo at this juncture. Moving on here, the Week 17 matchup points live stream here at fantasypoints.com. Our guy Tommy T on the other side of the glass. Rams at Giants, and pretty light injury wise here for the Rams and really for the Giants too, Adam.
Yeah, nothing for the Rams. The only one of note, Dexter Lawrence was dealing with his hamstring injury. He played part-time last week against the Eagles, and that hurt them. Eagles absolutely gashed them. And Nunez Roches, their best run stop and D tackle, he should be back this week. So that must probably had something to do with it. Adoree Jackson will be fine with the ankle. Wandale Robinson will play. Waller's okay with the knee. He took all his reps today. So, yeah, you're right. It's a pretty soft injury week. This is the healthiest the Giants have been in a while. We know about this is yet another team that's making a quarterback change. Going back to Tyrod.
Yeah, and they're going back because they must clearly view him as giving them the better chance to win. They want to win.
Yeah, and boy, Tommy DeVito is a struggle bus right now for him. Ooh.
Tommy T-Bone over Tommy Cutlets.
By the way, they tried to hide him. Oh my God, were they trying to hide him?
I saw Jordan Renan tweet that he was a little surprised about it, and I was surprised that Jordan was surprised. Honestly,
he's so limited, John. He's so limited.
I mean, their evaluation of him is complete.
Well, they got look. I give it. Look, I mean, yeah. Oh, it's definitely complete. Yeah. Oh, I get exactly. It. They were in evaluation mode. I get it. Yeah.
It's like Austin Powers.
John and I love that term, evaluation mode. I love that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, we have been evaluating the Giant secondary. We have determined that we do in fact love Flott. And Brett, looks like good matchup here for Cooper Kupp against little Cordell Flott. And then, hey, Puka against Adoree Jackson will be good if Adoree is on the injury report, but I guess
he'll play. He'll play.
Any thoughts here, Brett, on this one?
Yeah, if you just happen to luck into any Ram stack in your fantasy championship this week, congratulations, because this is a phenomenal matchup. So whether you got Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Tyler Higbee, Kyron Williams, they all have great matchups. Obviously, not all 5 of them are going to go off.
DeMarcus Robinson, man, come on.
Yeah, DeMarcus Robinson. You got to feel good about it, though. I mean, it's just across the board, just really, really great time to be getting the Giants, obviously. So I think Higbee's the surprising good matchup here, though. The Giants give up the most adjusted fantasy points to inline tight ends in the NFL. Higbee's one of these guys that plays almost exclusively inline. I like the matchups across the board, John. Not really going to find a complaint from me.
Okay. Yeah. Higbee, actually, by the way, last week, I got his projection exactly right. 3 for 30,
nice.
Right on the head. I'll probably bump him up a little bit based on what you said. I'll give him another half a catch. There you go, kid.
Done.
There you go, fella.
Done.
Yeah. Done.
Done.
Reminds me of that time I had Frank Gore on the radio show at LT. And I'm like, Frank, I can tell you what you're going to do on Sunday if you really want to know, because I've already worked it out. He's like, yeah, what? I'm like, Frank, you're running for 95 yards. Congratulations. First thing right out of his mouth, no hesitation. He was like, "Give me the 100." I was like, "Done." I gave him the 100, and he ran for 100.
There you go.
So
That's awesome.
That's a great Frank Gore story. Love Frank Gore. Let's see. Anything else?
Yeah,
No, I think we can move on.
I was just gonna say I like some of the Giants matchups here, John. The Rams give up a ton of outside receivers, and
right.
it's just that
I like
soft
Tyrod.
zone.
I like Tyrod.
Yeah, I like Tyrod too. I mean, hopefully you're not in that level of a pinch here in your fantasy championship, but for DFS props, why not? Tyrod's got a great matchup.
Oh yeah, and the Rams are getting beat up here. I like Waller too.
Yeah, I like Waller a lot.
Yeah. Sorry, I did skip over that just a little bit. Let's move on to the next game here, Week 17. Cardinals, Eagles, Mr. Caplan in Philly. Man, it seems like every damn game is in Philly for some reason. But no Hollywood Brown, I would imagine.
No.
Kyler's ill.
Yeah, a couple things. So they expect Kyler to play. Obviously, if he doesn't practice tomorrow, I would downgrade him, even if he does play severely, because he needs practice time. He's the Eagles do not do well against quarterbacks who could run, so that'll be interesting. And yeah, Hollywood, forget about that. Dortch will start for him. Our guy Trey McBride. Eagles aren't great against tight ends.
Our data loves Dortch this week.
Do they? Yeah. Okay, good.
Dortch.
The Eagles, he's got good quicks, and by the way, the Eagles have some of the slowest cornerbacks. So
Bradley looks like he's playing with a broken hip right now, guys. Like, holy crap! I just mean he looks old. Like he looks.
I get it. Trust me, I know what that means. Well, you could have said it with a piano on his back, but that's another one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Piano on his back.
Who would you guys go with on a very low end, real quick? And this is for a friend, very well known person, Dortch or Marv Mims?
Oh God,
that's tight.
Yeah, so we have head to head. We have Marvin Mims with the second best matchup score for wide receivers.
I saw that.
Wide receiver CB.
Yeah,
I just don't know if the volume is going to be good enough to warrant.
Well, if Sutton's out, the only thing with Mims is he was added today with a hamstring.
Oops, that stinks.
Sorry.
Well, we'll get to that, but okay, all right. Yeah. Well, it might be Dortch. Anyways, but Adam, if Kyler goes, I feel like he's a QB1 this week.
Oh, well, I don't have a QB1, but I'd certainly put him in top 5 because he
was last week somehow.
I know. And the Eagles defense has dropped off. By the way, the Cardinals have the worst run defense in the National Football League. The Eagles just ran like crazy over the Giants. So I don't know where you have Swift. It better be up there.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to probably just run out the clock, right?
Yeah, I mean, and he was the closer last week, not Gainwell, which is interesting.
Well, we don't have him. I've got him with 16 carries for 78 rushing yards.
Well, he's top 12, I think, in attempts. I know he's way up there in attempts.
I mean, he's a tough one because he's not catching a lot of balls and scoring.
I know, but he'll get an opportunity to score. He will. They're gonna control the clock, as you said. They'll have the ball. I know you could throw against the Cardinals corners, but the Cardinals run defense right now is not competitive.
Did you hear what Jason Kelsey said today on his podcast? He goes, every time they get to the 1, he goes to Swift. He's like, I'm sorry, man.
With the partially shove. I know. And
that
some
happens
data
a
points
lot.
on there. By the way, Arizona's given up 3.29 adjusted yards before contact per carry the last 5 games. That might be the worst number I've ever seen, actually.
I was going to just say, is that historic?
I mean, there are some people who they don't get that per carry, period. Right.
So by the way, they're down like 4 defensive linemen, and they just lost another one, Jonathan Ledbetter, for the last 2 games. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Swift is looking to use your term, better than usual. Now, fair point though, he may not score because they're going to have the shove inside the 1.
Man, if I grew up with a kid named Ledbetter, you'd be damn sure that kid be Wedbetter throughout our childhood. I'd have to gurufy that name a little bit. All with love, though. All with love. Moving on to the next game, which is the Saints at the Bucks. And for the Saints, Adam, I mean, could Lattimore get activated at any point?
No.
Okay.
No, because he would have had to start. you can't. Yeah, you can't do it on a Friday for Sunday game. So you Ryan Ramczyk, but they've been okay without him. The big ones though in this game are Carlton Davis, the Bucks' best corner with a concussion. Shaq Barrett. Is it a big deal if he doesn't play? Diaby's been so good on the other side. I don't know that it matters all that much. But their defense is playing better. I'll say that much.
Yaya, that's that Yaya.
Yaya Diaby. He's been really good.
That's our daughter's name, Yaya. That's her nickname in the house, Yaya.
Yaya.
No, because her name's Olivia, and her twin brother, trying to say her name when he was a baby, would call her Yaya. So we just start calling her Yaya.
Nice.
Anywho, noise. Well, Brett, pretty good schematic matchup for Baker. I guess probably a lot of man. Godwin heating up. What are you seeing there? Pretty good matchup here. No Lattimore to ruin Mike Evans's day.
Yeah, their pass protection is where it kind of starts with this right now. They're playing out of their mind. Like their QB pressure rate over expectation is awesome. They are just blocking it up really, really good. Canales has Baker getting out on the move. They're just making it really tough on defenses, and that's leading to guys just getting open and Baker delivering the football on time. I really like what I'm seeing here. It kind of seems like Baker might get a Geno Smith type contract this offseason.
Exactly what I was thinking. Because they're not going to give him a lot of guaranteed money for 2 years because there's risk involved. Give him a 1 year, give him a 2 year deal with a 1 year structure, and away we go.
Yeah, I did say that in the offseason, by the way. Canales did a great job with Geno. Who's to say he doesn't do something with Baker? Thing about Baker was it was quiet summer. It was slow going. He wasn't convincingly beating out Kyle Trask for.
Oh, and he wasn't, John. He wasn't very good earlier in the season. Let's not forget, he was very inconsistent, and then second half he's been tremendous.
Yep. And it's a good mutually beneficial relationship with Rachaad White. White helps him, he helps White. We're good. Any thoughts, Brett, on where Derek Carr is right now? He does seem to be fairly dialed in. Olave balling last week, we knew that. Yep. Your boy A.T. Perry. Any thoughts here on the Saints offense? Because, by the way, Alvin Kamara is it's almost funeral procession time here I think, for fantasy.
It's been rough. Tampa's they've gotten a little bit better on defense. Some of that is Bowles getting back to his traditional blitz happy roots, where they're playing a lot of fire zone, a lot of man blitz type stuff. But their corners still haven't played that good. Zion McCollum is definitely beatable. So I like Chris Olave a lot. I think we're projecting that to be his most seen cornerback this game. So I like Chris Olave a good bit. Shaheed, if he gets some Zion, that's good. Christian Izien, is he a rookie or second year guy? I'm not
first year nickel. Yeah.
First year nickel. He's playing really good. So Shaheed might have a tougher day than expected if he's going to be in the slot most of the time.
Oh man.
John, one thing though about Carr and Weiss playing better, this is the healthiest their pass target group has been pretty much all season. Juwan Johnson with a calf and another injury, and he's missed time. Taysom's actually healthy. Olave's over his ankle for the most part. Shaheed's over that thigh injury. So yeah, he as much as I hate to admit, he's actually viable. I know he could burn people as he has his whole career, but that people are wondering why is he better? Because his pass target group is healthier.
Yeah. And I think for the third year in a row, I completely ignored Michael Thomas's existence, and I'm glad I did. Just was pretty evident to me even 3 years ago. I'm not sure this guy's that into playing football. Moving on to the next game here on the Week 17 docket, the Niners and the Commanders. The Commanders switching to Jacoby Brissett. Merciful end to the wall. I'm going to call him now Sam Howell the Wall. I mean, one of the biggest walls hit that I've seen in a while.
Tough matchups, but yes.
Yeah. And then the Brock Ness monster, Adam, looks like he's going to go with
He'll go. Yep. He's had a stinger issue, but yeah, he's definitely going to go. Debo should go with the neck. He got work in today. Looks like Elijah Mitchell will get cleared, barring something unforeseen. He should get cleared to be the 2 this week. Trent Williams turned out to be okay. I know they were concerned initially. He's not even on the injury report. Armstead won't play on defense on their D-line. Juwan Jennings probably will not play as a third receiver. Anything else you need to know?
What are they going to do, DC, at running back here? Brian Robinson coming back?
Yeah, so B-Rob's worked the last 2 days, limited. Rodriguez went on IR with the ankle injury. So we'll know more tomorrow. And it's Gibson. That's it. And, they've got the dreaded Jonathan Williams.
Yep. Actually, a decent schematic matchup for the.
I'm sorry, no, Derek Gore. Derek Gore, the former chief. It's actually Derek Gore. Jonathan Williams got hurt, I think.
Oh.
No, he's okay. Here's the deal. They'll move him up from if Robinson can't play, he'll be on the roster. It'll be Gibson as the lead back and Gore and Williams backing him up. It just depends on Robinson tomorrow.
Yeah, Jonathan Williams still. Oh, you know who else is still in the practice squad? Jarrett Patterson.
They actually just brought him back from mothballs. They just signed him. Funny you mentioned that. They just signed him.
I did not know that.
Here's what happened. He was with the Chargers practice squad. They cut him.
Right.
And he just signed back because of Rodriguez's injury. Yeah.
I want to use Logan Thomas. The Niners have been giving a little bit. That's tough.
Likely look great against him. Sure.
Yeah. Brett, anything? Purdy, pretty good schematic matchup there. The data likes Debo, doesn't love Kittle, doesn't love Ayuk, although how can you not like Ayuk? Good schematic matchup for the outside receivers for the Niners. Not so great for Samuel. Anything stand out to you here fantasy-wise?
Yeah, it's just a great matchup after a horrendous performance against the Ravens. Like, it's a good get-right game for them.
Sure.
Washington has so little talent on the edge that, like,
terrible.
This is going to be great for Purdy to kind of cast off those demons we saw Monday night. So.
I need McCaffrey to go for 4 touchdowns, and I'm feeling like it might happen.
I see a minimum of 2. What tomorrow when we do our show is your bold prediction 4 touchdowns?
I'm, because if I do it, I'm going to jinx myself.
What a story!
Or I could do a double reverse jinx and I don't know, maybe shock the fantasy guys like, oh wow, this guy's ballsy. All right, give it to him, 4 touchdowns. We shall see.
Washington is so bad on their D line. They allowed the New York Jets to run for 5 yards a carry last week, which is, that's just insane.
Absolutely. Perfect get well spot. It's just scary because, I hope it doesn't turn into like Kittle goes for like 3. You know what I mean? Like, Debo could be a Debo game.
Oh, let me ask you this, John. What do you think of Brissett being the quarterback?
I think he's been amazing.
Brisket? Yeah,
he's been incredibly efficient. He's just going out there zipping the ball. I mean, granted, I'm sure it's prevent defense and all that, but he's got a little bit of mobility there. I mean, Brett always says, and it's a good point, like, can you protect on the edges? I don't know if DC can.
Oh, here's the problem. Okay, speaking of that, Charles Leno probably won't play their left tackle. And the center, they're down there, their second or third string center, Tyler Larson. He probably won't play. Neither played last week.
That's a concern.
Yeah.
The only team that's given up more pressure the last 5 weeks is the New York Giants. So I mean, this is not a great spot for the Washington offense.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let me update one thing real quick here. As like literally, I'm literally updating projections as we discuss these matchups here.
Projectiles, yeah.
And this is kind of part of the process here. It's like, we do it for people who want to hear it and see it on the site, and also for me as I do the heavy lifting on the projections, and of course my Hansen Since article up over the weekend. Pittsburgh at Seattle. Injury wise here, what do we have here?
The big one, now I don't know if it's minor or not, but DK Metcalf was added Thursday. He didn't work, back injury. We'll learn more tomorrow. Kenneth Walker's got an illness. I don't think that he's in danger of not playing, but obviously if he doesn't work tomorrow, I'd be concerned. He has a shoulder injury, but as I understand, it's more the illness why he's not working. So that's something to keep an eye on as we go forward. And then Pittsburgh, they've got issues in the secondary at safety, as we talked about last week. It didn't hurt them, surprisingly. Minka's not going to play with the knee injury. So they're not. It should be Mason Rudolph a quarterback. That's where it's trending.
Brad, what do you think of Mason Rudolph? I want someone to send him a memo letting him know that the middle of the field is in fact eligible for play. Because I just feel like the guy is a little bit too aggressive pushing the ball on the outside. And yes, I am bitter that Pat Fryermuth couldn't get a damn catch last week.
Yeah, it's like, do we want to complain about too much? Because we watched Kenny Pickett struggle to get the ball outside the numbers for how long, and then Rudolph steps in there and he can actually get it down there. So it's kind of like refreshing in one breath. But
Yep.
I get your beef in the other hand. But Deontay and Pickens both slightly elevated because of Rudolph, I think. It is tough though. Seattle's secondary has just kind of been up and down.
Up and down.
Rick
Woolen is like,
amazing.
What's the deal?
He's a very aggressive corner that he's going to live off his instincts and go for big plays. And when he gets beat, he gets cooked. So that's just the way it goes. On the other side, John, I mean, Joey Porter's going to shadow DK Metcalf. That's a really fun matchup because Porter's a big physical guy.
Yeah.
Metcalf, obviously a unit in his own right. I like Tyler Lockett versus Levi Wallace. It looks like Levi's back in the starting lineup. So I mean, that seems like the matchup to exploit there is Lockett versus Levi Wallace.
Yeah, and a good schematic matchup as well. The best on the board here, no doubt about it. And we'll see about Walker. Good stuff there. Here on the Week 17 matchup points live stream at fantasypoints.com. Erase Pat Fryermuth from your memory bank, basically.
Who does he play for, John? I'm not familiar with him. Who does he play for?
I don't know. The Senators. I don't know. Let's make up a fake team. The Chargers at the Broncos. You know, Adam, to you here, like, I don't know, like, might there be some sort of mutiny here? Like, I don't know where the locker room was on this Russ Wilson benching because it seemed a little scary.
Look, Sean Payton rules the roost.
Yeah,
this was his call. Obviously it's contractually related. That's the number one thing, but we all know this. Sean Payton wants the offense run a certain way. He does not want a run-around quarterback who's going to hold the ball and then decide to dance around. You don't want that. This is never going to work.
The receivers under the bus too. Like I guess to try and deflect attention.
Well, yeah, he said, I can't cut we can't cut the receivers, can't cut the tight end, so can't, whatever. Bottom line is, it didn't work. Jared Stidham, well, as John's called him with affection, Jared Stidham. He
always in the lineup, then sit him.
He had the one good game, but these backup quarterbacks are all the same. They could flash for 2 to 3 weeks, but there's a reason why they're backups, then become backups.
Are you bailing from Broncos?
Well, a couple things here. So Sutton's got the concussion, not looking good. Mims was added with the hamstring, didn't finish practice. Dulcich won't play. I doubt that he plays even in Week 18. So Mims obviously will replace Sutton if he's healthy enough. Forget about Keenan Allen with the heel injury, another receiver with a heel injury. Josh Palmer's got a concussion, so they're kind of screwed.
Yeah, they're screwed too. Brett, anything on this game? I mean, Gerald Everett does have a good matchup. Schematically, Jerry Jeudy, I like it. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's the same matchup that Gabe Davis had last week, but I just don't know.
This is what I was going to talk about, John. This game is haunting me because I want to smash Jerry Jeudy. This is perfect. The Chargers are in a weird situation where Derwin James is having to play in the slot a lot. Asante Samuel Jr. is basically an outside corner only now. Derwin James is just as good as we think he is as a safety, box player, mismatch weapon. He doesn't get it done against wide receivers, and I just think it's a really easy matchup to exploit. It's just tough because I don't want to have to rely on Jerry Jeudy, but we've never seen him play with Jarrett Stidham or Jarrett Stidham. Yeah.
So you like that, don't you?
I do like that. So maybe we have a new reason to believe in Jerry Jeudy, and it's with the new quarterback. It's just hard. It's hard to be here Week 17 and fall for it again. But man, I freaking love it. Maybe it's something I'll fire up in the DFS side of the business.
I did play and list a Jeudy over prop that I regretted for 57 minutes of the game. But he did hit it at the end there. But it's like pulling teeth with Jeudy. But something's got to give here. The Chargers and their hopelessness, or the Broncos with this change of Russ. I don't know. Would you consider Stidham, Adam, or
No. No.
over like Aiden O'Connell?
Okay, well, yeah, dude, I'd start you over Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell is in the high of the quarterback bowl. Okay,
he's Stidham, or hospital ball.
Oh, HB, I love HB this week. What are you talking about?
That's close. I think that's actually close.
I know it's a tough matchup, but HB, he'll scramble for 20 yards. He's going to throw for 185 and get a touchdown. You watch.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. Let's move on. This is annoying. Bengals at Chiefs. Injury wise.
Chase did start working today with the AC joint sprain. That's great. That must mean he can move the shoulder. So he's got a chance to play. So that's big. And then here are the ones for the
seems slim this week.
What's that?
The chance seems like it's
it's
slim.
better than John. He got some working today. That's positive. Okay, let's get to the Chiefs. Pacheco not looking good with a concussion. Now I warn you about CEH. Here's why I'm going to warn you. He didn't practice today for an illness. Typically, I wouldn't care about it, but guess what? He missed a game earlier this season due to an illness. So that would worry me. Tony probably won't play with the hip. And Mahomes is just so frustrating right now. I know the matchup's good. Oh, Cam Taylor-Britt, I should mention their best corner. He's got a chance to play. He started working this week. Looks like he's got a very good chance to play, as a matter of fact.
That would help. I kind of like Mahomes in this one to bounce back. I think it'll be a big Kelsey game.
Snead. Jerry Snead with a calf injury didn't work today.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, should mention that.
Because he would probably travel on Higgins.
Oh, he could be tough. Yeah.
Yeah. But Brett, our data loves the schematics here for the Bengals. Must be a lot of man coverage there. What jumps out to you in this game?
Yeah, Kansas City plays a ton of man. I think they're top 5 in the NFL the last 5 weeks in man.
Higgins
coverage.
is good against man.
Yep. And Browning's been like surprisingly mobile. Why did I say Browning? Yeah, Browning. Sorry.
Yeah, Jake Browning.
Yeah.
Browning,
sorry, so many backup QBs playing. I can't keep them all straight. It's crazy. But Browning's been surprisingly mobile. So if Kansas City's gonna play a lot of man, I think that's good for him. He's gonna buy himself some time, keep the chains moving with his legs a little bit. The only concern is if Chase doesn't go, you're gonna get a L'Jarius Sneed shadow on T. Higgins. Then it's like
if Snead plays, he's got the calf injury. So
true. What did you say about Pacheco? I missed that, by the way.
Not looking good. He's got a concussion. Yeah.
So if that's the case, I absolutely love CEH in this matchup, which is the first.
If he plays,
if he plays,
he's messed up too.
Illness. He's got an illness, and he missed a game. Week 9, he missed due to an illness, so you can't guarantee that he'd play through it. We'll know more tomorrow.
He'd be illin.
Whoever's starting there in Kansas City this week, I like the matchup because the Bengals have been just horrendous against the run the last 8.
That's a great question, John.
They might get down to LaMichael Pirine.
It is. It'll be Pirine. And then they'll move the kid. They
have Keontae Ingram on the practice squad.
Right. No, it'll be Generic Prince. It'll be Generic Prince.
Yeah. Preseason star.
And then it'll be Jesse Haynes. They'll bring him out of retirement.
And then who was that guy in the big off season? There was another guy.
Well, he was the all-time champion. No, I'm sorry, Derek not Al Gore's with the Commandos, so it won't be him.
No, who is the guy for Kansas City who was a big offseason hype guy in the late 90s? It wasn't
90s.
No, Jesse Haynes was the number 1 ever. He was ridiculous.
I'll call it up while we're doing that.
Nothing would be
got me bothered.
Bigger than Jesse Haynes, though.
Anyway. No. Jesse Haynes was literally a mini camp flash in a pan.
Yeah, they were calling him like the second coming of Jesus. I'll never forget that.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving along here.
That's one.
This is it. Yeah. Packers at Minnesota. What are the
all right. So okay. All right. This is going to take me a minute and a half. So forget about Watson with a hamstring. It's too bad. Wicks. Here's why Wicks may not play. He's got a chest injury. The ankle's okay. It's the chest. Dontavian Wicks. I know he's kind of sneaky. So that's Jaden Reed, John. He's getting he missed last week, toe and chest. He's limited, but that's improvement. Luke Musgrave with the lacerated kidney. He hasn't been cleared yet, but he started working, so maybe he play the outside chance he gets cleared. You saw Dylan play last week. Devondre Campbell won't play. You know about Jair Alexander getting suspended. So here's
You mean
here's my
the captain. I'm the captain now.
question. It's crazy. Here's my question: would you even consider in a 2-quarterback league Jaron Hall?
No,
Okay.
I don't think
Oh,
so.
yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I kind of thought he had a chance, but
Yeah.
I mean, he was showing very little. I just feel like they might pull him.
Yeah, well, yeah, but then what? They should have stuck with Mr. Turnover, Nick Mullins, who went for over 400. Oh, and Addison's going to be okay with the ankle.
Oh, Donnell Bennett.
Yeah. Oh, no. He was not even close to Jesse Haynes.
Yeah, I know, but there was a year or two where people were
Brett's not old enough to remember him, but okay. So this is an important. This is an important injury. Byron Murphy probably will not play with a knee injury. He's their best corner.
Yeah.
Blackman, his backup, should play.
Yeah, I mean, Love. I said on our live stream on Sunday, I'm like, we got a couple Love questions. I'm like, let's just go Love. Like body work's been good. I saw various data points today that were better than Aaron Rodgers in this offense for Love last year. So based on data, Love was better than Aaron Rodgers this year than last year. Anything stand out to you, Brett, in this one here? I do like our guy, Jaden Reed. I want to like KJ Osborne for the same reason you brought up last week with Thielen.
Yeah, it's when Adam asked if we like Jaron Hall at all, I'm tempted here, like a lot.
Really?
Green Bay.
Okay.
Defense,
I know, terrible. I know.
Especially in the middle, and Jair's going to miss too, which we haven't been super scared of him, but he is going to miss. Gosh, I love it. I love it. With no Hopkinson too, I feel like KJ Osborne's going to be even more involved.
Yeah.
Josh Oliver, as a low key flyer, man, it's hard for me not to like Jaron Hall. He can run a little bit too. So he's got some mobility to him. Not a very accurate pass.
I thought he was like kind of remind me a little bit of Dak Prescott.
Yeah, he's got that's like a very, very poor man's Dak, but he's a YOLO ball thrower though, and that's where Jefferson and Osborne and those guys kind of thrive. So go up and get it, fellas.
It's just a great unknown. That's just
John. He turns 26. Jaron Hall in March.
Yeah, he's a baseball guy, I believe.
Oh, is he?
Okay.
Yeah.
Or was he in the mission?
He also played at BYU, so there's
exactly. I thought he might have been in the mission, but anyway,
he did that too. I believe he did that too. But yeah, how did Aaron Jones look to you? I feel pretty good about where Aaron Jones is now.
He looks awesome again. I don't know why it took this long, but here we are.
Yeah, not the best matchup. And I also feel pretty good about Ty Montgomery. Luckily, he scored last week. Well, that'll wrap it up here. 1 hour and 7 minutes, not too shabby. We don't want to belabor the points here. We'll end it. We'll wish you Happy New Year. We'll wish you good luck in Week 17. We'll say thanks to our guy Tommy T on the other side of the glass. Thanks to our guys Brett Whitefield and Adam Caplan. I'm John Hansen. Guess we'll see you next year. Yeah, sure. We'll see you next year for Week 18 here at fantasypoints.com.